Welcome to another Baka commentary video. In this video, will be me doing basically a rundown of all the news that have caught my attention, tech news that have caught my attention, and that is the new Nintendo Switch next generation that Nintendo has confirmed. Again, quick summary on that: PS6 and the PSP portable new generation or whatever Sony decided to call it a portable handheld Sony console. And as always, it seems that AMD have now ditched the RX 8000 series, and now the rumor mill is saying it's now relabeled as RX 9000 series. And the one that really caught my attention is the AMD Mega APU. So, the first topic, Nintendo Switch or next generation Nintendo Switch console. It is going to be basically the same form factor as the current Nintendo Switch. There's going to be a handheld mode and a dock mode. And since, Nintendo is they're just going to be revise it with put a more updated hardware, because the current hardware that is on the Nintendo Switch, is pretty weak. And also, again, this next-gen Nintendo Switch is not really there for the first party. It's more there for Nintendo to be like, hey, we have now a more powerful console that's more capable of running video games. Please, third parties, port your games onto the Nintendo Switch platform and sell it on our platform so we can get some of that third-party money. But this also means Nintendo is fully aware that their Nintendo Switch 2 or Nintendo Switch next generation must be backwards compatible with the original Nintendo Switch, which I think it is very, very possible, because Nintendo, from what I have seen, they are sticking with the same SoC design that from the partner, which is NVIDIA. Again, this Switch 2 or Switch next generation was also kind of, as you saw, NVIDIA. They're very much like, hey, we no longer manufacture any of the Switch SoCs that we can no longer viably manufacture the Nintendo Switch SoC. We need you to move on to a SoC that is currently in the NVIDIA lineup. Again, this is another reason for the Nintendo Switch 2 or Nintendo Switch next generation is happening. And as well as, to have better handheld and dock performance, which again, as always, newer generation hardware tends to bring a lot of improvement in both efficiency and performance. Now, on to the next topic, which is PS6 and Sony portable console. What can I be this? What am I expecting out of this? Sony, I think, has, per the PS5 generation shown, they are able to use the latest production node and the latest design, and the market is willing to pay for it to a certain extent and willing to bear the cost 99% of time. Hence, we can expect the PS6 to do the same thing. Use the latest node from manufacturing again, and using the latest, their partners, AMD graphics card, their latest CPU, and maybe even the latest GPU design, and be like, slap it onto the PS6. So, you're wondering, how would they be able to make a budget-friendly Sony entry-level PlayStation? That's where I think the Sony's like, okay, this is where our Sony portable Sony console is going to come in. It's going to be digital only, and it is going to be basically us trying to make it as cheap as possible, or to make it as, maybe we sell stuff at cost, if on some Black Friday sale event or some special sale event we sell it for a loss, then we hopefully get people to go buy our games to compensate for the loss of the result of, selling you a PS portable console for basically our loss. And yeah, that's how I think the entry-level Sony console will become, and Sony's going to try to take advantage of this and be like, yeah, we will try out. We saw the current, the PS Portal is like, yeah, it's a concept. They're probably going to build on the PS Portal, probably should be expected. But unlike the PS Portal, where it has to connect to a PS5, it will be able to independently play games on handheld. And if you are one of those really budget, PS4, PS5, that $200, $300, $400 buyer, I think this new Sony PlayStation Portable dock mode is a great choice for you. Yes, again, you are not going to be able to carry over all your CDs, but that is the compromise that you're going to have to take with these cheap entry-level console that is probably at best being sold to you at cost, and quite likely sold to you at a loss, and they do need you to buy a game on their e-store, buy stuff on the e-store, or buy accessory for them to recoup some of the money back that they lost from you by selling the console to you at a loss. Anyway, yeah, that's my analysis / impression on the PS6 and the Sony Portable, the new Sony Portable. And the next thing, back to onto the PC. That is AMD now has decided to confuse everybody within the the tech news, the tech rumor mill of, hey, we are going to be rebadging our next generation graphics card. It's going to be called the RX 9000 series instead of what everyone has been saying to name these next generation graphics card, the RX 8000 series. Again, but however, do I think if for some reason they do 8000 and 9000 series as separate generation, and they are indeed what the rumor is saying, low to mid-end performance GPUs, this is good for AMD. If AMD decides to buy both 8000 and 9000 series, focus on the low to mid-end, this is basically AMD gonna basically go, okay, we have a roadmap of 2 generations of graphics card to crush the low to mid-end, which again, or get mind share from the low to mid-end, which quite a lot of the graphics card do get sold in the low to mid-end market, not the high expensive, the $1,000 US plus graphics card market. And AMD, if they're doing this 8000 and 9000 series as separate generation, cool, nice, good idea. Use this to feed out, to try and counter Intel and basically get the market that Nvidia has abandoned. However, there also seems to be that quite majority of people are saying the 8000 series is the naming is completely abandoned, and the 9000 series is going to be replaced. So you're going to have 9600, 9600P, 9700, 9700 XT. That's what the rumor mills are saying. Which again, how do I see this? Yes, this is again some weird, wacky AMD naming scheme where they want to be on par, their CPU and GPU to be on the same generation 9000 series, and they don't want you, the buyers, like, oh hey, why is my CPU one generation? Is there something different? No, but I think to us DIYers, we know that the reason why one number is lower than the other number on the CPU and GPU side. But to the normies, I think if this is true, how that 8000 series are being abandoned for 9000 series badging. This is not there for us DIYers, where we are very much in the know. We basically eat, sleep tech news, or very, very close to tech news. This is more of to the mainstream guy that occasionally buys computer and they see, oh, AMD 9000 series CPU. Oh, they also have AMD 9000 GPU. I heard hey, they're from the same manufacturer. Maybe they're a great combo. Maybe they're from the same generation. Maybe for, like some pre-built make, they go, hey, if I buy a 9000 series CPU, hey, maybe I go buy a 9000 instead of buying a NVIDIA RTX 50 series or an Intel B series, A series. Go, hey, we go buy an AMD 9000 series. That guarantee should be the best combo for that CPU. No, a lot of times this is how my thinking of if AMD decide to abandon it, and this is my thinking of the RX 9000 series if they decide to abandon the 8000 series naming. Anyway, again, now on to the last topic that I really, really got my attention, and that is the AMD Mega APU. These Mega APUs is rumored to be the new Ryzen Pro AI, the new Ryzen Pro AI Max, or the Ryzen Max AI APUs. These things, like the current on the market Ryzen AI APUs, they have, since these are gonna get the Max and the Pro thing ending, they're going to have more powerful CPU cores and more powerful GPU cores who justify the Pro and Pro Max naming scheme. And basically, they're probably going to have more CPU cores or more C core and less C cores, or they will have a more balanced, more, again, for the graphics. Again, same thing, they will be putting in more powerful graphics card with maybe a more, just they take a standard Ryzen AI CPU and just give it really, really beefy GPU to make it a really, really good gaming capable of Mega APU. Again, have AMD been doing this? Yes, AMD has been doing this chiplet nonsense with their desktop and their enterprise computers. So no, I don't think these Ryzen AI Pro, A Pro Max or AI Pro Max CPU, they're not going to really run into any issue. They already have established on desktop and enterprise that AMD knows, and Windows and all the operating systems know how to deal with these AMD multi-chiplet and the Infinity Fabric that AMD has basically put on their chiplet C product to glue them all together and make them all function as one single product. Which, again, do I think is great for the market? Yes. This pushes the entry level, some entry level performance discrete graphics card to be like, hey, maybe instead we should give those guys more performance, or make something unique, or make our vendors do something unique. Like if you going to have a dedicated CPU and GPU, it is going to be, well, more replaceable. Instead of, the CPU basically being fucking sorted down, maybe have a replaceable CPU, or the GPU being able to be replaced and have a modular system, And basically, again, this is how, or have RAM or storage that isn't sorted down. From what I can tell, these Ryzen Pro AI Max APU, a lot of them, they are going to be going sorted everything down. CPU, GPU for obvious reason, RAM, and all these storage, every component, they're gonna glue it down to the chassis and make it very hard to for an end user to replace and repair. Because why? Again, this is the downfall of mega APUs, where you do need the fastest memory and the lowest latency memory, and a lot of times socketable RAM isn't gonna be the best, highest performance and the lowest latency. And this is where I think if the low end performance gaming machine or workstation machine was to survive, they will have to swap out to modularity and to even have justify the reason for existing. If they don't, I see absolutely no reason for low end performance machine once these AMD Mega APU Pro Max CP APUs come out onto market. It basically will be taking these entry-level performance laptops lunch and just running away with it, because they are going to be more efficient and better since they have it all in one socket. And likely some manufacturers that are not being paid off be like, hey, we only need to cool one package instead of two separate packages. They save cost, and it ends up saving actual manufacturer money to not to have make two heat sinks, and you just have one heat sink to cool the mega APU. But anyway, yeah, that brings the end to the last video of Baka commentary in 2024. But and hey, if you like my year 2024 content, do a typical like, subscribe, share if you haven't. But if you already have, thank you. I hope you have a great, 2020 rest of 2024, and have a great 2025. And I will be hopefully see you guys in 2025 with new, fresh content, that art analysis from me, Baka commentary, in 2025. And I will be now officially signing out for 2024. And I'll see you in 2025.